What's up, everybody? This is Silent Mike from Mark Bell's PowerCast, howmuchyoubench.net, supertraining.tv, and now you are tuning in to the video version of our audio podcast. If you're interested in just the audio version, go on head over to iTunes, Stitcher, Shout Engine, or supertraining.tv. You can follow me at Silent Mike with 2Ks on Instagram and Twitters. Follow my man, Mark Bell, at Mark Smelly Bell. You can follow Jim McD, STTV, at Instagrams and Twitters.
Follow us on Twitter at STGymSac, Facebook /SuperTrainingGym.
Boom.
Sponsored by PowerMagazine.com, howmuchyoubench.net, and BSN, makers of NO Explode. Look for BSN products at Bodybuilding.com. Alongside Silent Mike and Jim McD, here's your host, Mark Bell.
Mics are hot.
Mics are
Hello.
hot.
Mics
All
are
right,
hot.
we're rolling.
We're rolling. Rolling. All right, well, I guess you're going to kick it off with a thingy, or we just start
No,
talking
we
bullshit?
We just started.
We just started.
We're starting
Started
right now.
from the bottom?
Everybody's hearing
Now
us
we're
right
now-
now.
Now
Now
we're here.
What kind of music do you guys lift to? Nothing?
Heavy metal.
Metal.
Yeah.
Some old school AC/DC.
Yeah, whatever gets you going.
Whatever's loud.
Yeah, whatever's loud.
Try to hold that microphone a little closer to your mouth like you're holding a penis. You're like, why am I even doing it?
Yeah. We should have left after the meet.
Look at how good I am at it. Look, see?
Yeah.
I got it right there. I got it right
A lot
here.
of practice.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect. Ernie Jr.'s
Yeah,
got it
Junior's
down.
on top of it.
He's all over, all about it.
Yeah, he's into it.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be a long
It's gonna be a
hour.
long day.
Yeah, long hour.
All right, well, we're here with the Three Bears, the real monsters of the Midway, Team Lilliebridge, and I'm proud to announce that they are now officially BSN athletes. So congratulations to you guys on that.
Thank you. Been
Thank
a
you, Mark.
long time working with you and Eric Hart. Thanks, Eric, to finally
Yeah,
get
what's up,
aboard.
Eric Hart? We know you're listening, buddy.
Hi, Eric.
Yeah, he probably is the only guy that downloads this thing. Just at his desk like a big nerd.
He's just listening to it in his Lamborghini or whatever.
Yeah,
the hell that
Right.
yeah.
is.
How many cars does that guy have, though?
Yeah.
He's always posting new cars.
You
Oh, I
guys see
drove to
that?
Alabama
Oh, yeah.
today to buy a truck. Who does that?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Eric Hart.
Eric Hart, yeah.
That BSN money. Damn.
NO Explode money.
How do we get BSN cars?
I know, we need to start selling more
Make
NO
it a-
Explode on this podcast.
A pimped out Eric Lilliebridge world record squat, car or
Beetle.
something like that.
Nice rap
Yeah, a
job.
little Beetle. Yeah.
Beetle.
Little Volkswagen Bug. He'd fit in there perfect with those shoulders.
Yeah, especially with the slingshot rims on a Beetle.
Sweet.
Be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I guess what we normally talk about in this show is nothing.
Exactly.
But,
We try to avoid.
Since we have some guys here with some knowledge, we might as well share it with the world. And let's start out with a couple questions for Eric. Eric, first of all, what's your best total? Give us a rundown of some of those numbers that you got.
My best total is 2353. That's raw with reps. I broke the world record squat too. That was my fourth time breaking it with 435 kilos, which is 959 pounds.
That's getting very expensive, by the way, on my end.
It also consisted of a 529 bench and a 865 deadlift.
Okay, I can bench more. Everybody get that? Everybody write that down. I got him somewhere.
For now.
Yeah, I know. He's only like 10. How old are you?
24.
24. Son of a bitch. So what has been some of the keys to your success? I've seen, and hopefully a lot of the fans out there, or at least they can go check it out now, check out your YouTube clips of when you were just a baby lifting some weights.
Yeah.
I remember watching video of you deadlifting like 700. And then I just saw recently on your 24th birthday, you deadlifted 900.
Yeah.
So what have been some of the keys to the progress of a 200-pound increase over the course of a couple of years? What are some of the things that you guys are doing in your training to have consistent progress over a period of time?
Like you're saying, just staying consistent with training and trying to stay injury-free. Obviously, the injuries are going to set you back. So that's the main key. You got to listen to your body. You got to know when to push it. You got to know when to back off. Usually we give ourselves a good month between competitions to kind of just go lighter and deload. So I mean,
that a month.
it's about a month straight. Just light bodybuilding training. So
You rest for about a month? Is that
from like heavy training? Yes. So it'll be more repetitions.
So sometimes you guys will take like an opening attempt about 4 weeks out from a meet, something like that, 3 weeks out from a meet.
After a meet.
Oh, after a meet.
after
Okay,
the
a
meets.
month. Okay, after. I got you.
Math
Right.
isn't Mark's strong suit.
Yeah. And neither is
Less
anything else.
kilo
actually.
talk. Less kilo talk.
Yeah, we got some flies
We're
circling
drawing
around
flies. We had a meet yesterday, and there's been I think there's a lot of garbage outside, so I think there's a lot of flies.
There's a lot of fat dudes running around in
There's-
here too.
Yeah,
They
I think
attract flies.
Disgusting.
Exactly.
So, you mentioned, the right time to push, the right time not to push, but you do have things kind of scheduled, and my understanding of the Lilliebridge method is basically you guys are going heavy every other week.
Mhm.
And so when that time comes back around and where you got to squat freaking 960 for 2 reps or whatever it is, what kind of happens on a day like that when you just don't feel like fucking doing it?
You just don't do it. You just don't push yourself if you're not feeling it.
Right.
But yeah, most of
Are
the
you
time,
able to do that? Are you able to actually back off? Are you able to tell everyone, hey, man, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like a pussy,
very
but
rarely happens. It's timed out pretty good from start to finish.
right.
So I know how I'm gonna peak towards the end of the
Right.
competition. So.
And because you're going heavy every other week, you're probably hungry the next time you come back in the gym
yes, and more recovered too.
to hit something heavy. The big question I hear a lot of is what are some of the things that you're just you specifically for now? What are some of the things that you're doing in those quote unquote off weeks?
Between the heavy weeks.
Right.
So on the heavy squat week, since we do them both together, squat and deadlift the same day. On the squat day, if it's heavy, we do light deficit pulls afterwards, maybe up to like 50% for a set of 5, off like a 2-inch deficit.
You guys sometimes get carried away with that, or do you just try to stick to the plan?
Just pretty much stick to that. And usually with those, we'll do them double overhand to work on our grip too. So we're doing grip work every
It's
week.
more of a grip thing. Are you doing some repetitions there with 50%?
Yes, and then we'll flip it the other week. We'll do light squats and then the heavy pulls. The light squats are pause squats. Typically, no belt, no wraps. Same thing up to like 50%, set of 5, and then that's it for the workout.
Ernie Sr., why the deficit pulls?
Help with floor speed. Got to get the weight off the floor, and then nothing works like doing deficits. The squats are primarily the builders to give you the strength, and they carry over tremendously into the deadlift. They just do a lot of the same muscles being worked, but you got to work your grip and you got to get the bar off the floor. And the deficit pulls increase the floor speed tremendously, and help with that tremendously.
You
And
guys
of
are
course,
extremely explosive. I mean, people can't watch a video of you guys without helping to notice how fast you're moving weights in the squat and in the deadlift, especially
always.
especially the deadlift. I mean, I guess that's where we see it the most. You guys are deadlifting 500 pounds. It just looks absolutely insane. It's just the weights are getting ripped off the floor. Ernie Jr., have you trained before using bands or using some sort of accommodating resistance, or have you guys done much of that, or is this just something that you pick up some other way?
I've tried it in the past, and honestly, I've seen no gains from it. Honestly, if you want to get better deadlifting, just deadlift.
Keep it simple.
Using chains or whatnot, it doesn't work for me. Reverse bands I do like. Pulling against
Right.
them. I mean, that beats you up, works in your grip. But as far as just deadlifting, just deadlift.
Right.
Honestly,
How about warming up? Without bashing our friend Kelly Starrett, everybody pays attention to mobility now and firing the CNS. And like Mark said, you guys pull so explosively. 2 plates, 3 plates. How do you get ready for that? I mean,
Actually,
when you
we're-
first step into the gym, what's the first steps you guys take?
Yeah, getting into our singlets.
You wear those from home, I know it.
Yeah.
And start pulling, and actually, we're not pulling very fast. We're actually slowing it down. It's more of an like a compound movement where you accelerate into the bar. We found that trying to rip it off the floor either upsets the movement and puts you on your toes, or it can break your grip.
Yeah, mess up your bar path and stuff.
That was actually a problem of Eric's for a little while. I mean, he was honestly like that was a big issue. He was just ripping 800. He was just raping it. He was just ripping it off the ground so hard that it was causing problems at the top of the lift. Is that right?
Ernie had so much floor speed. He was just amazingly fast. He would race with Chris Hickson.
He's fucking handsome too. Let's just be honest.
Thank you.
Extremely fast off the floor, but it comes to the point where you're actually pulling so hard, so fast that it upsets the movement and gets you out of position. We actually are slower off the floor, even though it looks fast, and then accelerate into the movement. And that's the hardest part to try to teach someone to do, to actually load up and pull into it. Not accelerating into it is so hard to teach.
Yeah, get some tension on your hammies and glutes
Yes,
before you activate.
The bar and then accelerating into it.
I think you said the key word there. You said kind of pull into it. It's a pull,
yes,
and it's not just some crazy explosive movement where you're going to lose back positioning,
control,
perhaps lose your grip as well.
Absolutely. There's so much that goes into it, and that's practice every single week.
So it's a drive and not a yank.
Exactly. And there's some guys that have
you hear that, Ernie Jr.? No yanking it.
Yes.
Vince
Buddy.
makes a perfect example.
Gotcha.
Settle down.
He's just an explosive guy.
All right.
And Chris Hickson, another guy, they just explode off the floor. They're literally yanking it. We have not had any luck
Okay,
with that.
so give me your opinion on Brendan Lilly's pull, because he pulls so fast.
His hips looked a little high on those last pulls yesterday.
you
I don't know
think?
what's going on with that guy.
He just destroyed that 440 opener. What do you guys?
What was he
think?
doing? I thought he was
Are you
going to
guys-
snatch it.
Are you guys intimidated?
Yeah, he's a freak.
When he comes back, he's
Yeah.
going to put up some crazy
No doubt.
numbers.
Yeah.
His form, of course, was nowhere near it needs to be.
Right,
That was just
right.
muscling it
But
up.
just in terms of speed, because he always pulls fast.
He's very strong. Very strong.
Do you think he's accelerating the way that you guys do, or
No.
is he doing something different?
No, he's just gripping and ripping. For sure. He's just exploding off the floor.
It's hard to shoot him. For me, it's hard to keep his head on camera, because I'm trying to concentrate on getting some detail on how he's setting up and stuff, and then he'll move so fast that his head's out of
extremely
frame.
explosive.
Do you feel like because he's from Paint Lick, Kentucky, that he might be partially retarded?
No, not at all. Believe it or not,
Because people from the South are usually slow, and he's really fast. So that's
no, he's
different.
really fast. And we were actually looking into the possibility that we're related with our last names.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Somebody hyphened, and then it got meshed up.
A lot of
Somebody did something to somebody a long time ago.
and
Make that
Ellis
happen.
a lot of them left the bridge there, and it just became Lilly. So there's no doubt we are related.
Maybe he burned a few bridges.
He might have. That's a great way to
I
put
guess
it.
so.
No doubt about it.
I'm not going to touch that
It's a
one.
very-
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
stay away
unique
from that one.
name,
I'm not gonna
and
touch that.
there's no doubt that we're related somewhere down the line.
There's a lot of people trying to get in now. There's a lot of people that want that Lilbridge name.
Yes.
You got
Team
Derek-
Lilbridge is huge now.
Yeah, you got Derek
Bro.
Kendall.
Yeah, he's
He's
definitely-
trying
Who's
to
the little
legally-
guy?
He's our little guy.
No, the other little guy, the real little guy.
Oh, yeah, the 181
He's
guy.
now a slingshot athlete.
Oh,
Or 165.
Tom Callis.
Dallas. Or
Yeah.
165.
Hey, Tom, I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
I know you are. You're probably
160.
blushing.
Yeah, he's a 165.
I hope
Probably
you
got
have
his
clothes.
hands in his
Yeah, I hope he
Tell
has
Kayla you
clothes
said
on
hi.
while he's listening,
Yeah.
not a
He's got a
singlet.
singlet on.
Oh,
He's
that's
got a
weird.
singlet on.
He's in
wearing
front of
it.
a fan, in front of his computer.
Oh,
With the
man.
singlet.
Tom.
They're down his singlet.
Son of a bee.
That's how most of our listeners listen to this podcast.
In his singlet.
Unfortunately.
In the singlet, you got it. It's just a ritual. You can't do anything without the singlet these days. It really just.
Why
That's
not?
understandable.
Yeah, why not?
So, Eric, I think you're on track. It looks like to crush some more big squats coming up. You did a 960 double, is that right? In
Yes.
training.
Mhm.
And so, how do you feel about the possibility of loading up 1,000 pounds on a squat?
I'm more anxious now at this point to
Yeah.
try it, but I'm
Especially after seeing your
until I know
training
it's
partner handle it a little bit, right?
Yeah, just waiting till I know it's the right time when I'm ready for it. So
And so, how you guys kind of talked about the explosiveness in the deadlift, and I'm sure it's similar in the squat, but you're very explosive coming up out of the bottom of the squat. I've heard Andrei Milanichev say that people tell him that he's fast, but he doesn't even really think about going fast. He just thinks about squatting.
right.
What are you guys doing to develop that speed? Is it a product of just strength and form, or is it some sort of secret speed training method that you guys are using?
I think form has a big key role in that. I mean, you got to get the weight in the right line.
Yeah.
And everyone's leverages are different, so when you hit that perfect spot, it'll fly up.
Yep.
Probably has to be.
Is that kind of what happens for you too?
Yeah, absolutely. When you hit that sweet spot, I mean, the weight just moves. Obviously, you can see a prime example of that from my second attempt squat to my third attempt.
Yeah.
Just being able to put
782 moved really well.
Being a little out of position.
Absolutely. You'd be surprised just being a little bit out of position how much it changes your form, and your strength is not directed in the line you want it to go, basically.
And it's hard to have perfect form too when you're used to heavy weights. It's hard to have that form with the lighter weights too, because you don't have that. It's not putting your body in the same position. You're not in the same path.
So we talk a lot about the main exercises. You hear so much about people, they'll coach the form perfection on the main lift, but only so much can go into the main lift when somebody's newer. You can only lift the main lift so much. So if he's squatting 900 and I'm squatting 500, I can only get so much out of that 500-pound squat day. I can only get so much volume. I'm going to have to do a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of other exercises to help assist the squat. And so what are some of the exercises you guys suggest, especially for some of those newer guys who are having some of those common problems that you see, people losing back positioning, people's hips coming up in the squat, people relying too much on their quads and things like that. Just all the basics. What are some of the things you guys suggest for squatting and deadlifting assistance work?
Heavy bent rows, double overhand, those are pretty good for your upper back strength, lower back strength, your grip strength. Other than that, we pretty much just do like leg extensions, leg curls, stuff like that, just to help hit the little accessory movements.
Just some basic movements to work the muscles.
Not only that, Mark, but it would vary on the individual. Like we were mentioning earlier, we really would train the weaknesses, not the strengths, and that would vary on the individual on where they're having a problem. And once that's seen and analyzed, then we would target the weak muscle groups to bring them up to par, and whatever that might be, it would vary on the individual.
And that's why you said Mike has to do full body workouts every day, because he's just weak all over the place.
Actually, he nailed it, buddy. That looked great.
Nailed it.
He
Nailed
did.
it. Boom.
Nailed it. Looked really good.
315.
Yes.
What are some favorite exercises for yourself in any of the three lifts for assistance work?
Honestly, we all do the same thing. I mean, it's no secret why we're all around the same, not strength level, but how we perform, and our form all looks spot on perfect. We all do the same accessory movements.
You guys all train together all the time? Sometimes
Yes.
in the videos, you can't really tell. It looks like you guys sometimes are squatting at different times or something like that. But are you guys all doing the same movements?
Yeah, we meet up, throughout the week and train all together all the time. Yes, it's.
You guys try to make sure each other's accountable. How do you guys do that? You guys kind of get on each other, like, hey, dude,
just
you
meet up at a certain time.
You got to do this. You got to do that.
It's been the same for a while.
Yeah, for years.
Yeah.
You guys, motivation. You hear people talking about lack of motivation sometimes. You guys fall into different funks sometimes, and the other guy kind of picks you up, or does that just not happen when you're part of the Lilbridge family?
We're exactly focused, driven, determined. We have a lot of willpower. We're trained when we're injured. I mean, we're trained when we're sick. We're going in.
Right.
Just finished. We already got with this meet finished just from yesterday. We already got the next one in mind. That's done. That's in the history books. We're ready to start training for the next one. We're ready to go. We're anxious to take what we learned from this meet and transfer it to our training to get ready for the next one.
So you guys said you take about a month off after a meet. So, Junior, are you going to go, 50% for the next month? No wraps for the next month? What's kind of the next step?
For me?
Yep.
I train by how I feel, honestly, at this point. I know, like I said, we have another meet picked out. I think it's about 6 weeks away. So
no break.
4?
Well,
Eric's
So
at 6
you should
weeks.
probably squat today.
Yeah, so
You should probably work out today.
I'm going to deload, obviously, but
Yeah.
The first week after the meet, it's pretty much just you're resting.
yeah, I won't do anything
Too
the
beat
next
up.
week.
Exactly.
So with like Derek Kendall, he screwed up on that 1019. He nailed the squat, a beautiful, strong squat, and he kind of took that step backwards a little bit. And now, today I'm sure it's just fucking eating away at him. His stomach's probably
He's been yelling all day, ice!
Derek,
He's
Derek
probably
made the
very pissed, but he's going to do the same meet that Eric's doing probably, right?
I believe so. He's thinking about it.
And so anyway, let's just hypothetically say that he's going to do a meet in the next couple weeks. How do you re-repair for a meet like that when you're just coming off of trying to peak your performance? Now he's got to kind of re-peak it just a few weeks later.
First and foremost, he needs to get healed up, and then
Make sure the quad's okay.
Yeah. And he came up with the squat. I talked
Right.
to him in depth about it, and on his way up, he felt the quad tear, but he still finished the lift. At the top of the lift, he couldn't flex the quad. It was just kind of spasm on its own,
Right.
and it threw off his balance. So it's a lot of weight on your back, man.
Yeah.
He
doubt.
He didn't voluntarily ditch it. It just
Right.
he had no muscle control at that point and came out of balance. So, but he made the lift very strong, and he didn't give up at the bottom. He pushed through it and probably did a little bit more damage.
Right.
So Derek's a warrior. He'll be back, no doubt about
So,
it.
so let's just say he feels better in about 2 weeks. How much time or how many heavy attempts he's going to be able to get in before that next meet? Probably only like 1 or 2, right?
Yeah, maybe.
1 or 2 training sessions.
Probably. We got to see where he's at with it. In all honesty, at this point, it's really, really premature to say what the next week
It's a little tricky when you're trying to for all-time world. You're going into territory that nobody's ever been in before.
Exactly. He's charting new territory. He's the man. I mean, obviously, Milanichev is still the man, but he's
Right.
trying to take that from him.
Right.
So, yes, this is uncharted territory. Lifting weights that no one has ever done before.
I remember Eric Spoto when he was here. I showed him a couple things with form and stuff, but at the same time, I was like, you know what, dude? You're the only one that can make this happen because you're going into territory no one's ever been to before.
Exactly.
I mean, I can give you a little bit of advice from things I've seen over the years from people and things that I've seen work with guys like Stan Efforting and stuff like that. That's all I can rely on. But somebody benching 727 or 722, whatever that number was that he hit,
722.
I can't really coach you to do that because I've never done it myself. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
So there gets to be a point where you're going into territory that no one's ever been to before, and you're going to have to figure some shit out on your own.
Yeah, no kidding. Derek's at that level. He's that second attempt was I mean, if you watched it was pretty much effortless. It moved just as fast, if not faster, than his opener.
I thought it was better than his opener.
He put as the weights increase, the intensity increases along with that, and you put more into it. And that was just a second attempt. He had a lot more in the tank on his third. We were planning on going over 1050.
Right.
And he would have had that easily. The strength is there. The control is there. Again, as we had discussed earlier, in this game of powerlifting, it's the exact opposite in the sense that the longer you're at it and the better you get, the chance of injury increases. It doesn't decrease. It increases. You're handling heavier loads on a consistent basis. The body can only take so much.
Right.
It's not a question of if; it's just a matter of when.
Yeah,
It
doesn't matter if your form's locked in.
It's unpredictable, and his form was perfect.
Right.
His technique was perfect. It's just it happens.
It's new ground.
Well, I see you guys, and Ernie Jr. yesterday actually, he you were squatting 500 pounds in the warm-up room, and he's like, Dad, throw your freaking knee wraps on, from here on out.
Yes.
And he was just kind of basically saying like, hey, you're going to wear them out there.
Right.
Why risk anything back here?
For sure.
Why waste any energy or risk getting injured? Why not throw them on back here? Is that the way you guys kind of view your wraps and your wrist wraps, your knee wraps, that kind of stuff?
Absolutely.
In training?
We incorporate them usually, again, after 5 plates. So,
right.
But he's saying to put them on with the 5 plates just to get a feel for it.
Yeah, and there's no
much
question
sooner.
you can do 5 plates all day.
No, it's not even a question
Right.
of what can you do with or without them. It's getting familiar with them.
Right.
The sooner the better. You put them on. Everything is systematic, and it does.
Would
not
you say
change.
that some of that stuff, including like something like a slingshot, would be somewhat similar to like a lifting belt? Like people don't put on a lifting belt. They don't put on a lifting belt when their back's hurt. They put on a lifting belt to help protect their back. It's a little bit safer and also allows them to overload. Is that how you guys kind of view wraps and stuff like that?
Absolutely. We use it as equipment. Yes, it's raw lifting, but we actually use it as assistance.
So you might get in several sets, you get to around 500, and then you're going to handle a few more sets with the overload and the protection of something like a knee wrap.
Usually around 500 we put on the belt, around 600 we put on the wraps.
Right.
And then from that point forward, for every additional set, both the belt and the wraps get tighter on the squat. And then it's a progressive, more weight, a little bit tighter, a little bit tighter. And that keeps bar speed very, very consistent. And all you have to do, it's a little bit heavier on racking, but other than that,
Yeah, that's actually a good point. That the speed will change quite a bit if you wait to throw the belt on or you wait to throw the knee wraps on.
It does, and it throws the feeling off completely. Learning how to use
It's an
the belt,
interesting
and how
way
to
of looking
use
at it.
The belt is such a huge part of this. Does it help? Of course. Is it going to give you a couple 100 pounds? No, it's not. Absolutely not. But it does help. And the more you practice with it and learn how to use it, the more it can give you.
Well, and it's part of our sport as powerlifters. So why not
Absolutely.
use it?
No, exactly.
You know,
And
Tiger Woods isn't golfing with a wood shaft.
Right.
That would be
Exactly.
stupid.
Exactly.
Everyone would be like, why?
And there is the safety factor.
You said shaft, by the
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
We just can't move
Yanking
forward.
a shaft.
And you said wooden.
Wooden
Yeah,
shaft.
Oh boy.
wood shaft.
Maybe
Anybody?
golf club with a wooden golf club.
Yes.
Broomstick.
With in regards to the belt, I get the question all the time when Stan was here. He'd wear the belt a little higher. And I've seen Eric and some other guys do it. Eric, why do you wear the belt higher?
Upper abdominal pressure. It just keeps you more upright, or at least that's what I feel.
So it's real simple. It just feels better to you. So that's where you wear it,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
I think sometimes people they make everything so complicated. And I think even yesterday you mentioned you're like, yeah, I have my belt a little higher. I don't know. Did that feel like it made a difference to you on the platform?
On the squat, absolutely. It kept me more upright. Yes.
Yeah, so
Sure
it's
did.
like it's just basic. People they need to mess around with their stance. They need to mess around with their equipment, their belts. They need to mess around with their knee wraps. They need to feel what's right for them. Move stuff around a little bit here and there, and don't be afraid to point your feet out a little bit more or bring your stance out. You've made a lot of adjustments in your squat. You had the high bar squat for a long time. I think you did 881
Yes.
successfully with a high bar squat, which is just absolutely insane. And then once you made the switch to putting the bar a little lower, you hit
The 959. That's my best so far in the competition. So
yeah. So I mean, it just goes to show you guys that are listening out there that whether you're new or whether you've been doing it for decades, there's always room for improvement. There's always room to make some changes. Let's start off with you in terms of diet and nutrition. That's another thing that people they tend to kind of over. I would say for powerlifting, people make too big a deal of it probably. Because just to get stronger, you need to have a certain amount of body weight on you, and so nutrition's not always the hugest factor. But what are some things that you do? I mean, do you do anything specific, or you just eat whatever's in your way?
pretty much eat whatever every day. It's no rhyme or rhythm. It's just whatever I want to eat it.
And
Is it that haphazard, or is it like you try to? I think that camera went away. Is it that haphazard, or do you try to like say I'm going to do 6 meals today, or do you follow anything?
Any kind of protein limits? Anything?
Not really. I try to make sure I get it maybe a couple shakes a day, just keep my protein intake up.
Right.
Otherwise, I just eat to get calories in.
Right. What about checking your body weight? Do you check your body weight here and there?
Almost every day.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right in the morning.
So you probably have a good feel of how many calories you might need. Even if it's not a number, like, I probably ate a little less. Let's get some ice cream in before bed.
Exactly. So I think it's good to check your weight every day.
Best friend is Ben and Jerry's, huh?
Yeah.
Chunky monkey, baby.
So
Ernie,
good.
Ernie Jr., you don't have the luxury of being as fat as these guys. So when you dieted down to a slim and trim, beautiful 198 pounds,
Yes.
what were some things you had to change for that? Because you're about 230 right now, right?
As of right now, yeah, 228. Yeah,
Okay.
this morning.
Yeah. What are some things you had to do to get yourself down to that lower weight class?
Eat more meals, actually.
You had to have a higher frequency of meals.
Yeah, I had
get the
about
metabolism going.
6-7 meals a day, actually. Yes, a lot of brown rice, a lot of lean chicken, bison meat. That's pretty much
And you
it.
probably just at 6 a.m. when your dad goes and uses the elliptical in the morning, you probably just went right along with him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In the singlet.
Singlet, yes. The elliptical, no.
Do you follow any sort of nutritional plan, or you just kind of eat when you're hungry? eat till
I
you're
watch my
full?
diet a lot more. Yeah, I like to eat a lot more cleaner. As you
hear
eat
that?
cleaner, you do get weaker though, so you need to eat more, obviously.
Right.
So, yes, I don't have the luxury of eating what I want because I will get fat.
Yeah.
I don't have a fast metabolism, unfortunately.
Right. And how about you, sir?
Oh, boy. Probably a blend of both.
I mean, you guys have a lot of muscle on you. And we've talked a lot about this before. With the switch to raw powerlifting being more popular, and how you kind of just can't get away with being a fat slob.
Yeah, all raw
Is-
powerlifters
is-
look like
Hey, man, I've
something.
been
As
doing
much
it
as
for
you-
years.
I mean, look at the
Yeah.
trend though.
Okay.
People don't want to see
That's
big
loud.
fat people. I mean,
Yeah, it's true.
If you're big and fat and you bench, 700.
Speak for yourself. I
No,
want to see
every-
big fat people.
Yeah. Every raw lifter has some big
I'm
traps,
going to Walmart.
at least
There you go.
triceps, and a big back. You can't necessarily say that for every single geared lifter.
Yeah. I mean, all the guys that are hitting big numbers raw.
Well,
you
I feel
always
like
see-
I feel like every raw lifter that's been in it. You know, like my numbers aren't even on the scale of your guys, but I have a little bit of tricep and a little bit of back. You know, it's because I lift raw. You have to put in that work.
Yeah, there's no doubt you got to put the work in. We're in the gym 20, 25, 30 hours a week. Really.
It's a lot of wear and
It's literally
tear.
a lifestyle.
It is. You know,
Punching in, punching out.
Getting into contest prep, it's a lot more than you would think. Just working on the technique and really getting that form sharp. You gotta not just practice, you gotta practice it perfectly. And to hit the big numbers, a lot of time goes into it. Training is a huge aspect. It's not just hitting the big numbers, it's doing it correctly and really get that form down and really isolating any potential problem, addressing it and correcting it before the next session.
You guys utilize some bodybuilding techniques to keep the muscle mass high?
Absolutely. For volume and for training and strengthening the individual muscles, for sure.
You guys have good mirrors at your gym? You got some good mirrors?
You know, it's more at that point.
Is the lighting okay?
You'd have to ask Eric on that. Yeah.
Is the lighting okay at the gym?
In some of the rooms, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, so you're not opposed to carrying a dumbbell into like the room with the good lighting and doing some
Get
lateral
a little
raises.
pump.
Get a little extra sweaty. Get a little oiled up. You know?
What are your guys' feels on front squats? We know Big DK, Derek Kendall, hit a big front squat a little while ago.
Yeah.
800 pounds.
Yeah, went
Oh, that
YouTube
was
nuts.
effortless.
But do you guys front squat regularly?
Ernie does.
I do on Sundays usually as an accessory movement.
Is that because you consider yourself more of a quad squatter or
No,
just
it
a
just-
weakness?
I just wanted to try them out, see
Like
how it
'em.
worked, and it actually transferred over and made my back squat go up more. Actually,
Yeah.
it strengthened my core.
For sure.
Yeah,
I like them honestly. I do.
I'm a big fan as
Are
well.
you guys just too jacked to do it?
No, my knees are killing me.
Yeah.
Can't. Too much stress on the knee.
You don't mess with them?
It's like big fat Mark Smelly Bell. He
Different-
won't do anything.
No,
He'll
I won't
box
even-
squat. That's
I
about
won't
it.
even fucking look at a front squat. Fuck
No,
that.
way too much stress
Not
on
without
the
a
knee.
harness. I've seen you do it with the harness.
Yeah, that hurts too, though.
Mostly Zerchers, though, with the
I don't like
harness.
to do anything that's tough. Anything that's hard.
You're a big puss.
Yeah, I'm out the door.
I'm out the door.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta go home. This is getting to be too tough in here.
Back to the chunky monkey.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
I'm gonna
most,
go to 24-hour fitness and find a tanning bed.
most of the guys can hang with Mark on assistance work because he only wants it to be so hard.
Yeah,
No, everybody kills Mark on the assistance
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Side laterals, Mark's doing like 15s. I'm
Yeah.
at least doing 20s
I can't do
or
shit.
something.
It's embarrassing.
It's always been like that.
You are embarrassing.
I
You're
know.
out of here.
I know.
Just kicked you out of your own damn gym.
I'm kicking myself off the team. You gotta do what you gotta do. You guys travel to a lot of meets, huh?
Yes, sir.
Is that it's not just the three of you. You guys are bringing a whole army. Got the whole family going.
That's right.
Yeah.
A wife, you got kids, you got people all over the place. You guys kind of make it a family event. Why do you guys do that?
It's been like that since the beginning when
Yeah.
I started. Even before they were born, I was into powerlifting, and then it just.
Well, it's interesting to me, because a lot of times, you hear about people who are police officers, or they just get involved in these different types of jobs. You can pick any job, but sometimes a gym owner or something, somewhere where somebody has to be away from their home for a long period of time, and a lot of times you hear about divorce and some different
For
things.
sure.
Is that kind of part of the reason you wanted to just keep it all together, keep everyone together, keep everyone closer, that
Families
kind of thing?
that play together stay together. For
Well,
sure.
there you go.
For sure.
Yeah,
It
that's
really
great.
Works.
And on that same note, I was talking to you yesterday, and Knucklehead over here, he wanted to take Ernie Jr. In case you didn't get the Knucklehead reference, he wanted to take a fourth attempt deadlift, which wouldn't have
Yes.
counted towards his total. But I figured, fuck it, that's great. Like the people will love it, and if he wants to try it, why not? Just let him do it. He did the last one in a warm up room, and I know he's striving for that 2,000-pound
He's
total.
going to change the rules of powerlifting soon. Everybody gets 4 attempts
I
on
went
deadlifts.
over to Pops over here though, and he's just shaking his head, and I said, "Hey, it could be worse."
It could be worse.
And he goes, "You know what? If my kids, if that's the worst of my problems, if they want to lift heavier weight, then he's like, that's not so bad."
That's not a bad problem. That's not. That's all his desire is today. All he wants to do is lift more weight. Hey, there could be worse things. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. For sure.
And and seeing some previous videos of you guys, I've seen where you guys started, kind of where you guys grew up, and it looked like it wasn't the safest neighborhood.
No, it was the ghetto.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
you had to
For
kind of
sure.
make sure these guys had a certain path to go on with their bikes and things like
Yeah,
that. And you said,
yeah.
"Don't fucking go past that. Don't fucking go past that. I'll kill both of you."
Yeah. Me or someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
And so, but has the lifting? You kind of feel the lifting has kind of brought you guys together, kept you guys together, and I mean these guys are wonderful. It has kept them on a good path.
It became a self-governing thing for them to do. Where into the adolescent and teenage years, I don't have to worry about them being out partying on Friday night and getting into drugs or trouble, because Saturday morning is squad day,
right?
And they want to be there. They want to be there. Literally, it was a self-governing thing through their teenage years. I couldn't have had an easier time. And every Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, we're together training as a family. And it's always been that way.
And it was a natural progression, too. It wasn't like, Ernie Jr., you're showing up at this time.
No,
we're deadlifting at 6 a.m.
They didn't start lifting with me until their teenage years. They were kids. They're just normal kids. And I never forced anything on them.
Normal kids. I don't buy that.
Well, whatever normal is. It's for real. They did all the regular stuff, get in trouble, bike ride, whatever.
Right.
I never forced any lifting on them. I never said you have to come with. Never. It's something that they wanted to do, and they got into it, and I helped them with it. They were into track and into wrestling and bike racing, RC cars. Hey, whatever you want to do. I'm a firm supporter of whatever they wanted to do. It wasn't until later on that they wanted to get into the weightlifting, really, or into the powerlifting.
Right.
Never forced it on. Never.
And where were you lifting at the time? Were you just lifting in your home, in your garage, or just lifting all over?
This is we were in Chicago. I was lifting out of BMW gym. That's a famous older powerlifting gym from the 80s.
Right.
And they were in there.
Did you have to shield these guys a little bit? I mean, some powerlifters are a little rough.
No, they were they were there since they were babies. They'd be
right, so it wasn't a big deal.
The power racks like monkey bars, literally, and they'd be goofing around with the who's ever running the front desk, ordering pizza, making prank phone calls. Seriously, they were gym rats from
ordering
the beginning.
Pizza. That's
Seriously,
great.
ordering pizza. Yeah, Domino's was across the street, so they'd be sitting there eating pizza. After the gym closed, it was their job to make sure all the weights are put away and cleaned up.
You guys have some early memories of lifting? I mean, did you start, he said teenage, but did you guys mess around a little bit earlier than that as well?
I sure did, yes. I used to go in with my dad and just, work on form, squat with a broomstick, bench with a broomstick.
Was it, as a kid, you tend to look up to different people. Were you guys looking up to him, or were you kind of idolizing him?
Always looking up to my father,
and
yes.
just being, holy crap, like I hope someday I'm as strong as him.
What amazed me is he'd do his meets, and there are people that would walk up to him that are in full gear, shaking his hand saying, wow, you just beat me.
Yeah.
And it amazed me because, like a lot of people didn't grasp the concept of what's gear, and, even back then people really didn't know what a bench shirt is or a squat suit. I understood it.
Are you saying on the PowerCast here that he invented raw powerlifting?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Just
not at all. But just see other people come up and
Ernie
just...
Sr.
No, I never invented it. It's just been one of the guys carrying the torch that never deviated from it.
Yeah, have you ever used any kind of briefs or anything?
In
I mean, messed
07
around?
In 07 for one or two meets.
Where you just beat up
Worst
and
year of
wanted
his
to
life.
experiment?
Yeah, we lost a lot of strength doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah, but it seemed like the thing to do, and that's what the coach.
2007, yeah?
2007.
You've been in this game so long.
There's
we gotta-
video footage out there. Look it up on YouTube.
I think we did one or two meets.
Yeah, just
And-
multiplay meets.
Yeah, and I had a brief on and a bench shirt, but never a deadlift suit.
So since you started, even Ed Cohn and some of these greats were just using like single ply suits or something soft, yeah?
We got pictures him with Ed Cohn when he was knee-high to Ed Cohn.
The same height, and Ernie Jr. was 6.
Oh, yes.
You were really,
Yeah, that was really small. Yeah.
They've been in the game. I mean, I would take them to all the meets.
That's great.
They've been around all the big name lifters forever, so they've been in this game a long time. If not from the lifting aspect, from a spectator, so they already knew, guys know who famous baseball players are. These
Yeah, you
guys
gotta know
have
the
always
history.
known the famous power lifters, like that's Ed Cohn, that's Kurt Kowalski, that's Ted Arcidi, the big bencher. They could recognize them.
Ted Arcidi.
That guy's so jacked.
I know, he was huge. How about you, Eric? You have some early lifting memories?
Yeah, it was mainly in our basement, though. That's when I pretty much got started. I started after Ernie did.
Right.
So.
And you're younger, right? Ernie's old.
A little older.
You're 24 and 26.
26.
And 40.
Excuse me, I'm 42.
42. There we go. And so you guys used to lift together in the basement as well?
Yes.
That must have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
When we moved to the suburbs, we did. When we moved out here to when we moved from Chicago, the only gym around was the Franz gym, and it's so ironic that I've taken over for Ernie Franz and the Franz organization and run the team, but we stayed away from it in the beginning just because a clash of differences where he was a different training style, different training method, into the gear. I wanted to keep them away from that, so we just trained on our own. And we were literally 5 miles away from this gym.
How'd you get these guys out of the ghetto? What'd you do? You hustle a little bit?
No, I got lucky. I went to school, got a degree, learned a trade. I started making decent money, and it's the first opportunity I could, got the hell out. Got out.
That's fucking awesome. I mean, isn't that what it's all about? You know, trying to make each generation better, trying to make each generation's life a little easier.
For sure. There's just no place to raise a family. Not that way. I mean, would they have turned out the same way? Probably not. The influence is just overwhelming. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah, you know, I grew up in a town that's, you know, you end up with a lot of people that just hang around that town. But luckily for me, there wasn't really gang violence and poverty and stuff like that. So it's not as bad. If people hang around in those towns, you know, it doesn't mean the same thing. It's not the same dead-end street as where you guys were living.
Yeah, it was totally dead-end. I mean, you see the same characters, and they become almost idolized by the younger kids. When you look at them, they're just pieces of trash. This guy's 25 years old, standing on the street, peddling drugs, and the kids idolize him. Yeah. That's not an idol. That's a piece of crap. You know, recognize it for what it is. But they all want that, the easy lifestyle. He's got a big gold chain. He's got money. He's got a nice car. I want that too. That's not what life's about. Not at all. So we had to break the cycle, get them the hell out of there, just completely remove from that environment. And they adapted. It took a little while. You know, they're city boys, so moved to the suburbs. It's like night and day. And like, why do they dress like that? Why do they look like that? It took a little while for them to tone it down and adjust it again.
When you moved, were they, you know, a little aggressive? You know?
I wouldn't say aggressive. I wouldn't have that. They were not bullies at all, but they weren't taking no one's crap either. That's for sure. That's for sure. So they fit in. It took time, but they fit in, and it all turned out for the better. They got a much better education, stayed out of trouble. I couldn't be happier with the outcome, honestly.
That's awesome. Like I said, I think that's what it's all about, trying to make each generation's life a little easier. Better. You don't want it to be too cushy, but you want to soften up. Can you give him the mic there?
Yeah. Well, for sure, there's a fine line, you know, and that's the quandary. It's like, you know, what do you do? Where's the cutoff? You know, do I make it harder for them initially, and hopefully they'll benefit from it later on, or am I ruining them by making it too hard for them? There is no book written on how to be a parent. I'd love to know.
Right.
I make bad decisions all the time.
Well, there's you know, in looking at great athletes, you know, there's some athletes that have had great support. But really, a lot of the cream of the crop, some of the best athletes in the world have had their dad, usually, just turn and walk straight out the door when they were young. Sure. And that's a common thing. Like you got Mike Tyson,
there's no
you got
doubt.
Shaq, you got,
sure.
you know, the list goes on and on of great. So, like, a lot of people now will take their kids from a really young age and they'll force them in. You know, you said you didn't force these guys into anything. Right. They'll take them and they'll force them into something like baseball. They'll pay for all this coaching and all this stuff, and it just doesn't work.
No, the kids hate it or suck.
Both. As soon as they become old enough to have their own opinion, they're gone, and you see it happen all the time.
Yeah,
really. I see that, and I stress that. That's why I never forced it on them. It's
what
they wanted to do.
Yeah, what a common thing I see in great athletes is just in life learning how to overcome adversity.
For sure.
So then you can learn how to overcome adversity in your sport.
Absolutely.
Right? Injuries in powerlifting,
sure.
or a bad squat day, or a bad this or that haters.
Yeah,
we always talk about internet haters. I'm sure you guys know plenty of that. They're everywhere.
Now,
But it's around, you know.
The powerlifting in itself, you know, is something they can apply to life. It's very hard and it's very difficult, but if you want it bad enough to figure out how to do it, you want to get better, lift more weights, it's the same principle as I want to get better, make more money, get a better job.
It's not going to happen in a week.
No, and it's not going to happen sitting on your ass. You got to get up there and do something about it. Bitching about it does nothing.
Right.
You got to do something. So it's the same principle. It's just applied to a different concept.
Yeah.
And I've been there to support them the entire way and try to make it easier for them. And not in the sense, the outcome may be the same, but it's just a shortcut. Why make them have the same mistakes I did? You know, there's a reason that they're this good. And I'm not saying it's just because of me. It's the hard work that they put into it. But it's showing them all the right way of doing things, not waiting for them to stumble and fall this is the way it's done.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that earlier, how,
Yeah.
I went through 5 years of probably squatting like an idiot before I found Mark.
For
And
sure.
luckily you, Ernie Sr. had to go through those mistakes, so
Yes,
Eric
yes.
and Junior didn't have
So
to. You
they
got to
didn't
teach them.
have
Yeah,
to,
it's great.
Exactly. They've been around the game forever. They've been around the best lifters. They've been in the best gyms. They've known about it. So this is a culmination of a lot of things to bring them to this point. I mean, I have 2 real world record holders. My sons, a 198 or 275. It didn't happen by chance. They busted their asses to get here.
Well, and it becomes something that can extend out through life, period.
Absolutely.
It's something they can use the rest of their life. They put the time in,
For sure.
they put the hard work in, and they got great results from it.
Absolutely.
I think in this social media era that we're in right now, it's possible for people to latch on to like heroes and role models and whatever who never really did anything. I mean, they were really good at social media and they were good at selling themselves
Yeah, you
online.
see that quite a bit. Yeah,
But
For sure.
but they
That's
were
my
never
goal.
accomplished.
Thanks, guys.
That's my goal.
I was thinking of you at the time. Anyway, though, but you guys have accomplished things, and you continue to accomplish things. You still have goals, though
Sure.
you've done things that nobody's ever done before, right? And so, I mean, you guys have some social media following. I don't know why you're not huge. I really don't,
Not
because
marketing.
I guess.
We're good powerlifters. We're not good at marketing, so we need to obviously get in touch with people that can help take us to that next level.
Yeah.
That's just not what we do.
Yeah, because I mean, it's an inspiring story. It's an ongoing inspiring story.
For sure.
People should be latching onto it. That's
Well, I think, I was talking to Ernie Jr. about it yesterday, and, you guys make the videos of you guys squatting and deadlifting. A 900-pound deadlift, of course, it's going to have a ton of views. But, 900-pound deadlift doesn't happen every time. So I think, like, we just shot a video, just on my phone of you talking about how to set up in the squat, some different techniques in the squat. I think if you just get on camera more talking about what you're having these guys do, I think that alone will help get more
Yeah, you
views.
plugged a ton of information in 3
Yeah,
minutes.
and also,
for sure.
and having maybe Eric be like, I don't know, he's listening to what he said, just to make it funny, like like Eric could be like, I'm going home to eat, like, and you video him walking out the door, because I'm sure that at occasion, things like that happen, So I think,
He's usually pretty consistent.
no,
honestly.
come on,
Really?
he ditches you guys. I know he does.
Yeah, the Domino's across the
Yeah,
street.
he hits the buffet.
Believe it or not, I'm telling you, some of the Saturdays, I mean, they're really intense, and they're 6-7 hour long training session. And
Why do the training sessions take so long? Is it and we have the same thing here, but I'm just asking you, with what you guys do, why do the training sessions take so long?
Because it does. Training the team, and then you got to put the time in. You got to. You want to get better. We're always content, but we're never satisfied.
Right.
No matter how good you are, you can get better. And after the heavy squat session, we'll talk amongst ourselves and what looked right, what went wrong, and then start analyzing and making those corrections immediately for the next session.
Just to point it out and take it even a step further, it's a 6 or 7 hours of training, but it doesn't stop there.
No, it does
On the
not.
drive home, you guys are probably talking about it or texting each other, or
Yeah.
you post a video and you see his or he
Oh,
sees
absolutely.
yours, and you text him, and it's ongoing forever,
We
right?
record the videos of training, and it's not for everyone else to see. And they post them up there, but it's for yourself to see.
Right.
Not only, when you're underneath the bar, it may feel one way, but look another way. And what you feel and what someone else sees are not always the same thing.
Yeah.
So it takes not just eyes, but eyes of people that know what they're looking at
Right.
to give you the feedback to make the correct changes to improve you.
Right.
And it does. So we do that constantly on every, up to 3-4 plates. No.
Right.
Yeah.
After that, when the weights start getting heavier, because it might look great at the lower weights, the heavier ones are what we're really concerned with. And we practice consistency every single time to do it the same way for everyone on the team, especially ourselves, obviously. And everything is recorded, and we analyze it, go over it again and again and again, and try to improve on it.
what I find is that speed is very deceptive on video because things always look faster than they
Look a little
feel.
easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go through it like, man, that looked pretty easy. But while you're doing it, just pull it.
Yeah.
Like,
Your camera just doesn't
you
catch
can,
all
you
the
can
little.
watch the sun go by, and I'm still pulling it. Really, you think it took a half hour? And look,
Yeah.
man, it didn't look that bad. Huh? Maybe I did have more.
So-
But while you're pulling it, like, oh my God, you're giving it all you got. And
Right.
There is a difference. The context of actually doing it and looking at it are two totally separate
Yeah.
things. You're absolutely right.
People forget that video and film, everything, you're taking little slices of time.
For
You're
sure.
not taking, it's not really real time.
It's not real time, no.
And it's psychological time is different.
For
What's
sure.
going on in your head is different.
That's why it's good to have teammates, though, you know, because you
Right.
see it live, and you're like, Eric,
Yes.
it looked a little rough, or oh, it looked
We talk to
great.
each other all the time,
Right.
and we're getting feedback. And it's not that we're not secure with what we're doing, but we're looking at each other for advice that may have seen something, even though it felt okay to us, to make sure that it's okay to take that next step and increase the weight. Like you're saying, he very rarely will do this, but there's occasions where he does. And we'll talk about it like, hey man, I'd shut it down, really. And he knows it, before the bar's even racked. I'm done. Like he was pulling here the other day. I knew when he took the last pull, he's done. He's not going up anymore. It just wasn't there. It just wasn't.
Yeah, just
Looking
not
for
that day.
Snap, that it's either there or it's not, and you can't force it to be there. You've got to be intelligent.
You're not going to go heavier, and it's not going to all of a sudden get better.
No, it's not.
It's going to get worse.
You'll know. And usually, 700, 800,
Yeah.
somewhere around that range. If it's still flying, hey, we go up. If it wasn't, shut her down.
And we're not talking about bailing 15 minutes in. We're talking about looking at those attempts that are 90% and above, 85% and above, going not there, not feeling it,
And
not
again,
gonna
it's
happen.
very rare because we're at that range every single week.
Right.
In either squat or deadlift, but it's because of the way we train, we're able to consistently be at those levels.
Right.
It's so much that goes into it. It really, it's a lot. It really is.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I see you guys do quite a few reps with squats, but maybe not as much with the deadlift. Is that true?
Very true.
So
Very
more into the singles with deadlifts, kind of working your way up to something heavy on your heavy-ish days or your heavier days,
Pretty
and then
much.
squats, sometimes you do go heavy triples all the way up.
Very rarely. But yes, on most of it though, especially in the contest prep, it's all singles. It's all heavy singles. Heavy singles.
So, and then you just raise the weight week to week,
Yes.
or every other week,
Every-
excuse me, yeah.
Yes. And even on the warm-ups, it's the same way. You set up the same breathing technique, same everything, and execute it in the exact same form.
And any kind of reps you'll get on the off week, the lighter, like you said,
Exactly.
Eric, the
Exactly.
overhand deficits or whatever other exercise you
And
choose.
On the flip side for the squatting, yes.
Yeah,
Those-
pause,
And so the
reps.
squat, you said the squat and the deadlift are trained on the same day.
Mhm.
The bench is obviously trained on a separate day. Is it 2 main training days?
Yes.
And then you guys probably go in for a third or fourth and
Get a
do
bicep
a couple
pump.
smaller
Well, there's at
exercises.
least 2-3 days in the week of accessory.
Right. Okay. Yeah, just
Absolutely.
kind of hitting whatever you missed or whatever's weak.
Exactly. The emphasis changes on that every week.
On
because-
some of those days, do you have some of your newer lifters? They sometimes come in and they'll do some really light squats just so you can walk them through the form and the technique if they're really just not getting.
Yeah,
it.
what
You
if
do
someone
that
only
kinda-
squats 315 and their form's sketchy? Do you have them squat more than once a week?
No.
Never?
Again, it would be whatever was the problem, why they're squatting in that form would be corrected. And we train the whole team on Saturday, and there's 15, 20 guys
Wow.
sometimes that we're training. And we have from newbies all the way up to real world record holders and everywhere in between. But we have a real good team, and they catch on pretty quick, and everyone's on the same page, following the same program. And
Do you guys all coach?
Each other, pretty much. Give each other advice and whatnot.
But with
Uh,
the
but-
team and some of the newer people,
for the
do you
team-
jump in sometimes.
You ignore them.
If my father asked, but he is the main coach.
Right.
ignores them, no.
And what about you, Eric? You jump in a little bit and help some of the newer guys, or
Yeah, I mean, if they ask me for advice, I don't normally just
Yeah.
go to them and give it.
Yeah, because you're working out too.
Exactly.
We go through that
If
same
they
thing here.
ask, I'll definitely give them my opinion. I'll look.
right? Yeah, we have guys in here that they'll be quiet, and you don't want someone to ask questions nonstop either. But at the same time, you figure there's some really good resources in here. There's some really good resources with what you guys are doing, and you figure man, if these dudes are hungry, they should be fucking talking.
Absolutely.
Like they should come up to me and you almost wonder. You see a guy miss a squat, or you see the guy screwing up. Maybe he's trying to do a lift when your dad's not around or something, and he's going heavier than he should and whatever. You're just thinking, man, I just wonder why the hell that guy won't. I squat over 900 pounds.
Yeah,
Why
what
the
are they
guy-
thinking?
Well, honestly, most of our guys are pretty good. Like you said, we have a hand-picked team. No one's there
Right.
by chance. They're all hand-picked to be there, and they're all
Yeah, it makes it a little different too.
Really. We have
Invite
a real
only.
good team, and we have real strong girls. I train the girls separately on Sunday.
I see the girls are coming up big.
Some strong girls.
No, I mean, just
Real
like
strong.
even more recently, I've seen over the last maybe 2-3 months, you guys posted more videos, and they're hitting some big numbers.
For sure they are. And they get obviously individual training, so it's easier to keep it divided just because, there's one monolith and you don't have to keep
Right.
the bar pretty much as good.
And all the guys want to back spot the girls.
No.
We know the truth.
No, there's none of that. It's pretty much, it's very serious. I mean, it really is. There's joking and,
Right.
Good camaraderie, but when it's time to lift, man, everyone's dead serious. We don't have mistakes.
How do the women play into it when you guys travel? Are they? I mean, obviously they must be extremely supportive. Are they?
Absolutely.
Are they kind of, for lack of a better term, your right hand man when you're traveling? Are they kind of, just I don't know, assisting you with whatever the heck you need to make sure everything's all dialed in? Is that true for you, Eric?
I mean, I have my girlfriend. She helps me out.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's great. I mean, it's good to be able to lean on somebody else. You kind of find that too, Ernie?
Absolutely.
The wifey helps you out as you guys are traveling and stuff like that. And then
absolutely.
Somebody's got to do something with those kids, right?
Right.
They can't just be hanging off a rack on a bunch of bands all day long, swinging.
They send them to Grandpa.
That looked very dangerous. That looked pretty cool, though. Looked like he was having fun.
Looked fun, yeah. I'd want to try.
So, do you guys hope your kids lift too?
Well, they were lifting before.
Yeah, I mean, I'd support them in whatever they want to do, honestly. If they want to lift, that's great. Play basketball, whatever.
But so I mean, you guys connected with your dad over a particular activity, at least one, right? So,
yes.
Say the kids don't go toward lifting. How do you?
Yeah, they're in video games.
Yeah, how do you
kick them out of the
Are
family?
they?
It's pretty
Everybody
simple.
is.
You get rid of the Lilbridge name and
Yeah, they're done.
see you later, kids.
You don't squat 500, you're out of here.
Just because you guys have such a strong example, how will you connect with them as they get older? How, if they don't go toward this activity that you're so involved in?
Honestly, I guess I'll cross the bridge when I get there. But like I said, if they want to, play basketball or football or whatever it is, I would definitely be supportive. I'm going to be at their games or whatnot and help in any way I can.
Right.
I'm not going to frown upon them not wanting to lift. That's their choice.
Right.
I would never force anything upon them.
Right.
Makes sense. Yeah, like my son likes baseball. I hate baseball. Whatever.
Yeah.
I go to the baseball games.
Little Quinny plays soccer. You hate soccer.
Yeah. I hate soccer.
Yeah, soccer's frowned upon in the Midwest, huh?
It's not the biggest.
It's frowned upon.
Yeah.
All the sissies are playing it.
I didn't say that.
You're really painting them into a corner.
Buddy.
Didn't Stan
That's
Efferding
right.
play soccer?
Yeah, and Bird Dog, too.
Yeah.
Brandon, Lily, and Stan played soccer.
Wow.
There's something to those sissies.
Yeah, Brandon looks like a soccer player, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Picture
perfect.
Ate a soccer player.
Well, that was a good meet yesterday, wasn't it? That was pretty cool.
It was a kick-ass meet.
You guys hit some big weights, and you got Chad Wesley Smith hit some big weights.
That was a big meet for him.
Brandon on the comeback trail. You did.
Chad was a sleeper. Man, he really put up some numbers. He
Is that
killed it.
14th,
Yeah, killed
15th highest total? Something like the 15th highest
What are you into with,
total? Raw total of all-
I think he's in
250?
the top 10, actually.
Yeah, he might have cracked
something
the
like
top.
that. I don't know. It's just
22,
amazing. I
48.
didn't see it
He
coming.
beat Brandon Lilly.
Oh.
He took him down by 10 pounds.
Oh, Bird Dog's mad
Or
at that.
11.
Yeah, 22:48. Yeah, that's got to be close to top 10. There's no,
Yeah,
no
he
question.
broke top 10.
There's only a couple guys done 23, right? I mean,
Very few.
and then the all-time world record is 24 and some change. Right?
24.63 held by Milanichuk.
Yeah, he just did that kind of recently, right?
At Rum, yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was the first man to break 2400 officially, and he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, he
Crushed
yeah,
it.
he absolutely killed it.
He absolutely killed it as right.
All
Isn't
these
that-
guys are so well-rounded.
For sure, you'd have to be at that level.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't be a
so-
one-trick pony. There's
Yeah,
no
I mean,
way.
Wood,
No way.
Milan benched high fives. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
you gotta be.
that's hard,
You gotta
man.
have it all together to hit those numbers.
That was
Yeah.
a nice bench too that he did out
Yeah.
of Rum. I
For sure.
saw the lift and it was.
He's a very conservative lifter. All
Yeah.
these are just. I think that's just their training methods. They're never giving it 100%.
Yeah, I think I don't think he only took 2 attempts on the deadlift, didn't he?
Yeah, he passed on his third.
he
had
just didn't even-
one and just passed.
And it was pretty smooth. I mean,
Yeah,
it
he
looked like
could've
there was
pulled
more
9,
there.
for sure. No doubt about it. At least I would have thought so.
Yeah.
It was very, very smooth, very fast. Looked like there was plenty more in the tank.
Right, and I think at the meet that he just did, he had to pull 9, and he just like tore a bunch of shit in his hand. So maybe that was it.
That was a
Yeah, that's why.
meet.
Right. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah, he
gear
tore it
always
on his
messes you up.
second or he tore it on his opener and retried it on his second, I believe. And that's how Yarmurbash beat him.
Yeah.
Yarmurbash is another incredibly strong guy.
Oh, he's
I
unbelievable,
don't know if
isn't
you
he?
remember from the WPO days.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a freak. That
Yeah,
dude's just a
multiple
beast.
world record holder
Absolutely,
for years.
He is a beast. So to say you beat Milanichuk, you're doing something.
we talked a lot about the deadlift and the squat. How you guys train the bench, because you're doing the deadlift and the squat, kind of you're flip-flopping them. Are you benching heavy every other week as well?
Every other week, and we'll usually flip-flop between doing the heavy singles and heavy reps, and alternate between wide grip, close grip.
And
Do you
then
go heavy singles one week and heavy reps the next?
Usually, yes.
Something along those. So it's still, when you train the bench, it's usually you're handling something fairly heavy.
Still fairly heavy, yes.
Nearly
but
every week.
Just the recovery is so difficult, and doing all three is really difficult. And,
Right.
And one lift does affect the other. You got to kind of get the timing of it correct. If you have a real heavy bench session and your squat's too close to it, your shoulder mobility.
You
is
mentioned
really bad.
Rick Husey earlier today, and he
Yeah.
was amazing with that. I remember he'd have guys hit a PR in a lift, and then they'd come in the next day, and he would just automatically pull them back on their lift, on their bench, because they just hit a PR squat.
For sure.
He's just like, it doesn't make any sense to really drive it home, on this day, to go too hard, because it's probably just not going to be there, and even if it is, your recovery is going to suck when it's time to deadlift.
Absolutely it is. We have to we watch that. Again, we have a lot of feedback from past experience coming into it.
Right.
So we got a really good system. We pretty much got it dialed in. I mean, really, we really got it pretty
When
good.
you say repetitions, it's funny, because in powerlifting sometimes reps means like 3.
That's
well,
usually what we're talking
Yeah.
about, 3 to 5.
Yeah.
But we do occasionally do just all out
6 or
sets.
something, yeah.
Just all out, just
Right.
405 for as many as you can, 315 for as many as you can, and just have fun.
On the rep day, is it sometimes like close grip or wider
Yes.
grip, or just something that kind of
Just different.
almost
just throw it
something
fun.
different,
For sure,
kind of
for
forces
sure.
you to use like quote unquote less weight
Absolutely.
because the other day's heavy.
Exactly. And we keep it modulated that way so that come the big squat day, you are a little bit fresher.
Right.
Because you weren't going at 100%. We try to keep it in rotation. And it works out very well.
What about something old school? I know a lot of guys built up some huge benches years and years ago. Kazmaier and a lot of those guys, Reinhout, they built huge benches off of incline presses. You guys mess with any incline presses at all?
We got away from it. Probably something we should be looking back into. We used to incline.
They freaking
all the
hurt.
time.
They hurt your shoulders,
Yeah, they beat the piss out of your shoulders. That's
They're
what
demanding,
It does.
very demanding.
It really does. And if you look at a lot of the huge benchers from the past, Larry Pacifico, they'll have fake shoulders now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how long do you
Right.
want to stay in the game?
Wow, that's a red flag.
No, really, it is. So it's like, how long do you want to operate at 100%? And how long can you do it? Is it longevity you're looking for? Or is it just hitting that big number and fading away? So we kind of err on the side of safety in the sense that we want to stay in. I've been powerlifting now for 28 years. I've had more surgeries than competitions. It just goes hand in hand. You get hurt, you do.
Right.
But thank God everything is still real. There's no fake parts in, other than a bunch of titanium screws. But
You guys kind of mentioned, training together and doing a lot of the similar movements. Is it sometimes like, oh yeah, this is going to be great? Like Ernie, you get excited during a certain exercise because you're going to kick Eric's ass, or vice versa.
hell yeah.
You guys kind of that kind of stuff happen. Like, oh, we're doing dumbbells for reps, and you get all excited because you're going to blow it up,
Usually in overhand deadlifts, Ernie has a much stronger grip than Eric,
right?
so he can outpull him. So there's always competition.
Right,
always.
right.
And then little Tom Callis, that little guy's got a killer grip. Like, what the hell?
Little
You
Tom, that's the new
Yeah.
name. Little Tom,
I'm
that's
just
great.
saying an example. He's a 900-pound deadlifter,
Yeah.
and he's going head-to-head with
Tom.
Right.
It's like, are you kidding me? So
Yeah,
there's always inter-gym competition.
Right.
Everyone's pushing everyone in a positive way. It's not to rub your nose in it or
Right, right.
I'm pounding on my chest, I'm better than you. It's just always competition. We're always driving each other.
Well,
It's
you
such a
know,
positive
if you
feel.
beat that top dog one day,
You got to. You keep
know,
up with
if
them
you-
on anything, you're doing something.
yeah, if you surpass
sure.
them or catch up to them in any way, to
For
be the
sure.
man, you got to beat the man.
You
Woo!
Ric Flair, there he is. But if that's the case, why was he 26-time world champion? It means he lost 26 times.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, I know.
25.
Yeah, I know.
He still comes back.
He lost it a lot. He was probably drunk
Or
or high or both. Yeah, well, the problem is the logistics of the figure 4 leg lock. You can't always get everybody to figure 4 leg lock, and if you put it on too close to the ropes, the guys can grab the ropes. The referee's going to break it up.
Absolutely.
And in pro wrestling, a lot of guys cheat.
Oh,
You know?
really?
No way.
No, dude.
Yeah, foreign objects, all kinds of stuff. So you can't win them all.
Do
you
they
know?
always stick to the script?
They normally do.
Normally think
They're
it's-
supposed to, but sometimes people have been known to just drop other people in the ring for it. They get fired.
They get fired, huh? Gotcha.
Got to stick to the plan.
Gotta stick
What
to
other
it.
things you guys do growing up? Did any of you guys play football or Eric, did you play football, wrestle, anything like that?
I did wrestling in 7th and 8th grade, track and field, but that was it.
When you wrestled, were you trying to come off the top rope with the elbow? Trying to do some Macho Man Randy Savage shit? Oh, yeah, there you go.
They both wrestle, both good track.
That's weird. You wear singlets in wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Oh, where it all started.
Solid
Something you're
connection.
comfortable with. Dad's like, get out there, son, on a baseball field. He's got the singlet on.
playing golf.
Team Lilliebridge. Dad, I feel uncomfortable out there for some reason. Nobody else is wearing a singlet.
With a cup, a singlet with a cup.
Yeah, that would, hey.
On the baseball field.
Hey, anything that helps. Banana, 2 oranges, pineapple. I don't know, anything.
Pineapple.
You never know. So you guys are big into cars. Why don't we shoot the shit about that for a little bit? I don't know anything about cars, so I'm gonna let Jim.
Yeah, me neither. I think it has 4 tires, most of them.
Yeah, and you.
Yeah. What kind of cars
you
y'all
put
drive?
gas in the car, not pour it on it, something like that.
Okay, well, who had the first cool car and what was it?
First cool car?
This is like a Z28 or some shit. I know some stuff.
I know some stuff, yeah.
T-tops.
Always been into cars.
Muscle car. It's gonna be a muscle car.
Yeah.
He had long hair.
Always American.
Yeah, Honda
muscle cars.
Civic.
Yeah.
Decked out Honda Civic.
No.
That's not in the Lilbridge shop?
A mullet.
I had a Corvette. Got it 20 years ago and still have it. ZR1.
Oh shit! You
Yeah,
still have it?
Still have it. Yeah, I've had it since that. Always wanted a Corvette. That was just like everyone has their own little milestones in life to say I made it. I did something.
Right.
And that was mine. I wanted a Corvette.
Oh, that's fucking
I
cool.
wanted a Corvette, and come hell or high water, I was going to get one. The kids always had food and clothes and had a nice place to live. God damn it, I wanted a Corvette.
Ramen noodles were good.
What color is it?
Black Corvette. I got it in '93, and still got it. And I've always been around cars.
You fix it up and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's been modified for
Yeah.
sure.
And you know how to do a lot of that yourself?
Yeah. That's why I have a degree in auto and diesel technology, so I'm a mechanic by trade.
And then same with you, right, Ernie
Yes.
Jr.?
Yeah,
Yeah, my dad was an agricultural mechanic.
agricultural mechanic.
Yeah,
Badass.
and I was told that I was not going to be one. That's what I was told. It's
Not
like,
mechanically
you can't-
inclined.
No, I am, but I
Right.
was just told that you can't. This job is too hard because he was an ag mechanic who drove all over this valley. Like he would be Woodland, where Mark used to live,
Yeah.
is another 20 minutes up north, and then he would be 3 hours south too. In the course of a week, he would drive hundreds and hundreds of miles.
I can imagine.
And
Everything's on site with that stuff.
everything's on
Yeah.
site, and
Yeah.
or nearly everything's on site. They had a shop. They rebuilt some things in shop. Most of the time, he would be out working on something that was broken down, and you've got workers standing around who
Needs to
can't
be
do
fixed
anything.
yesterday. I know that.
Yeah,
I know.
all of
I
that
know.
stuff. And so he said, it's just too hard and not rewarding enough. But at the same time, like there's so much problem solving in being a mechanic. You're always trying to figure out, troubleshoot what's
sure.
going on, and you trying different solutions. Always trying to come up with a better way to solve a particular problem too. And I think that I got that. I took that from him. So I just do it on other things.
For sure, you can
yeah.
apply it to anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we rebuilt some engines together and stuff
Cool.
like that over the years. Usually our own cars. Usually because a mechanic won't let another mechanic work on their car if they
Never.
can avoid it.
Never. Never.
Unless you get to the point where you just can't do it. But
Don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it. Well, there's
That's a greasy job. I'm going to pass this one out.
yeah, that or once computers were in everything all of the time.
Yeah.
That I remember that being a wrinkle for him. That
It changed it a lot. It really did. They still have their place. Obviously, there's still the mechanical components, but the invent of the electronic and being introduced into the automotive mid '80s, it changed everything. Everything's computer control. I mean, really, your mirrors, your seats, engine, transmission, everything,
Yeah.
radio.
My car's very sensitive. It's always telling me it's got some sort of fucking problem.
Yes, yours is, there's probably nine or 10 onboard computers all in communicating at the same time in that thing. It's just crazy. It's just insane. It takes
like a
all
robot.
the fun out of it. It does.
now I know Ernie Jr.'s done some performance mods, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a fast car. Don't let him bullshit you. I'll spot you 2 cars.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
So-
Eric's got a fast car too. Don't let him lie either.
So
Yeah.
What you got? What you working with?
A slingshot mobile.
Oh, first of its kind. 2015.
So, just like theoretically, pretending that Dad's not listening, how fast have you gone, both of you? Ernie Jr. and then Eric.
I'm not here.
Me?
Yeah.
Not too terribly fast. I race at the track, honestly.
Right.
I do value my license and my life,
So
so I do it safely.
So with the track.
I've seen over 150 quite a few times.
Holy shit.
Nice. Eric,
120s.
120s. Does it feel shaky at that point? And you're like, yeah, do I want to? I could make a mistake right here, and it would be really bad. Do you have that?
I want to go faster.
Okay.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Does that sensation of speed feel anything like what you get out of lifting? Is there any connection at all?
I guess like the adrenaline rush. It's
Yeah.
Adrenaline rush and feeling the raw power of the car, man.
Yeah.
Raw power, huh?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like stepping on your own throttle, versus stepping on the car. So yeah, I guess I can see that. Yeah. So all Chevys, everybody Chevys?
Pontiac, but it's
Pontiac.
all, there was a point in time when Pontiac did make their own engines.
Right.
That's long since been gone. Now it's all Chevy.
That's all Chevys. Yeah.
You know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
all the same.
Most people put in that Chevy crate engine and everything too.
Yeah,
when they're
exactly.
when they're
They both have fast GTOs.
Yeah.
The newer ones, not the older from the 60s model. Ernie has an 06, Eric has an 05, and they're pretty damn fast.
So do you have any fascination with the older muscle cars, the vintage
I
muscle
did,
cars?
but it's just so far out of reach. I mean,
If you
priorities have changed.
if you got one as a gift, what would you ask for?
Honestly, my favorite car is a 95 McLaren.
Really?
F1, yeah, that's my favorite car. That just changed the whole world to me. I know it's not really a muscle car, but the older dinosaurs, they really never did it.
Yeah.
I like them, don't get me wrong. I got a million favorite cars.
Right.
I couldn't be happy with one. Like Jay Leno, it's got a garage of
Yeah.
hundreds.
Right,
That's what I feel like driving today. Okay, what I feel like driving right now, I'll park it and grab something else. I'm just a gearhead. I'm not a Chevy, Ford, Chrysler, Toyota. If it's a fast car, I think it's cool. Yeah. I'm all about it.
There's a museum here in Sac that's like 10 minutes from here.
Really?
The Tau. It's a Ford museum, but it's a Tau Ford museum. It's not well populated, but there's some good stuff.
Off of Broadway, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just out.
It's like
out here and then to the right.
It's like 5 minutes from here.
From like
isn't
5 minutes from here.
yeah, it's real close.
That's badass.
Anyway, let's get back to some serious shit here.
Okay.
Does anybody have a good poop story to share with us, like in training or otherwise?
I got one.
Here we go.
I got one. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
All right.
And I'm sure.
A friend of a friend of a friend.
No. We were out. Both my boys were with me, and I'm sure one of them's responsible for this, and I'm sure I'll never hear the truth. We were at Marshall shopping, and both the boys went to the bathroom. Okay, cool, no big deal. I go in there, and it's like hell broke loose. There was literally shit and paper thrown on every damn wall, ceiling, and no one knows what happened. You see? He still doesn't remember. Okay, well, there's my story. At least it didn't
There's
happen
shit
at
on the
home.
walls?
How long ago was that?
15 years ago, something like that.
You're like, it was last week.
No, last week.
Yeah.
It was on the way here.
They poop their singlet. Everybody always has at least a halfway decent poop story. Ed Cohn told us a good one. He like shit himself during a workout, and then he just continued on his workout. Cleaned up a little bit and just,
Felt a bit
Or
nutty.
no, he did it on like rep number 2 of 5.
Yeah,
Right.
kept going.
He finished
Yeah, and
the
he just
set.
kept going. Yeah, he finished his set.
Changed his clothes.
And he said it was like that old Play-Doh thing that you put the thing through the Play-Doh thing, and you push it down, and it just squirts out the other side.
Soft serve ice cream.
Yeah, brutal.
Terrible.
Well, that's who we all look up to.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
He's
So,
the man.
No doubt. That is still the man.
Eric, what are some of your goals coming up? I know you're doing a meet in a couple weeks in Dubuque, Iowa. So what's the goals out there?
I'd like to try and break 2,400 at 275.
That would be awesome. What does that entail? What is the breakdown of that? What do you got to do?
In the range of about a 970, 980 squat is something that I have to do. A 535, 540 bench, and 875 plus pull.
Yeah,
Your
all those
chest needs to
numbers
put
are
me over.
all those numbers are there.
Yeah.
Very good.
What about you, Ernie Jr.? What you got next, buddy?
A few meets to pick out in mind. I'd definitely like to compete again at 198 and total 2,000. Do a 10 times bodyweight raw. That's never been done before in history. I'd also like to attempt to compete again at 198 and do no knee wraps and take the total in that as well. Compete at 220. Just play all over, honestly.
So the 198 10 times body weight, that would be the heaviest 10 times body weight. I'm
Correct.
Sure other people have done it 165.
Sure,
and
148.
181
Yeah,
and stuff.
yes.
So yeah, it'd be the heaviest
Ever done.
10 times body weight raw of all
Wow.
time. Yeah, I mean you're
Yes.
close to that. Didn't you do 19?
I did 1946, and when I weighed in at the meet, I was like right at 196 or so.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too far off at 10 times. It was very, very close.
It's right there, man. What you got, buddy?
It was one of those silly situations where, again, like, where it's not a home meet, so you're away and things are different. It was a different bar, and he just couldn't hold on to it. And all he got was his opening deadlift, which was, what, 711 or 760?
711, yes.
The bar on the platform was shit. The one in the warm-up room was better. And all he needed was, I think, a
765.
765, and he would have took
2,000 total.
2,000
I remember he went in the warm-up room and pulled it.
pulled it when he was done.
Yes.
Just to show that the strength was there, he just couldn't hold on to it.
Right.
It was just a shitty bar.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his grip, it was just a shitty bar. So you never know going into the meet. We train for all the variables, but I mean, you can't compensate for a shit bar with that type of
Right.
weight. And unfortunately, so
Your total suffers.
His deadlift went to shit. I mean, he's an 800-pound puller. He can only pull 716. Well, there were circumstances that were involved with that. So,
What about for yourself? What kind of goals you have for next meet that you compete in?
Next meet, I'd really like to finally break 2,100. That's the short-term goal. I'd like to break 21 and by 22 by the end of the year. I'd like to get the 900 squat. My bench has been bugging me for years, bad shoulders and lots of injuries. I'd like to get it back in the fives and just put a good meet together.
Yeah, I remember like some of the first videos I've seen of you guys. So all three of you benching.
Yes.
And I remember you were benching, five, maybe
I was
525 or
550.
so.
I was 550
some of the stuff I
back
recall.
in 08, 09, and just I was still benching in the fives up to a couple of years ago. Just took on a couple bad shoulder injuries.
Look, man, you
Just
gotta
can't get
you gotta
away
keep
from them.
kicking these guys' asses.
I'm trying, buddy. I'm
You
trying.
gotta keep fighting them off, buddy.
I'm trying.
At least for a few more years.
At least.
Look at Eric. His head's growing every day.
You know,
We gotta slow it. We gotta slow down that
talking
growth.
about bionic body parts.
Growth.
I'm all for it, man. we can
I'm right there with
let
you.
it go. Hey, let's go. I don't want to replace the joint with something substandard. I want it to be better than what I was
Exactly,
before.
exactly. I'm looking for an upgrade.
Exactly.
A number of them.
Upgrade. Let's enhance this. Let's do something with it. I'm all for it. Hey.
Let's just close this out by give some advice to some of the lifters and fans out there. It could be something to a new lifter. It could be something to an old lifter. Just any advice you want to share on anything powerlifting related.
Don't do drugs.
There you go.
But honestly, form and technique is everything, honestly. And, if you're having problems and, obviously you want to reach out to us, you can email us at any time. Our email is teamlilliebridge@yahoo.com. You can send me your videos. I'd be more than happy to help out in any way, shape, or form. And again, like I said, form technique is everything.
All right.
I agree. It doesn't mean anything to me if I see someone lifting heavy and it's crappy form. That's the main thing I always look for, at least with my clients as well, as how good your form is. So definitely always practice good form. Record your training, warm-ups, top sets. That's going to help you and benefit you in the long run.
You guys, seem to be hammering that home, a lot. And so with that in mind, do you guys, when you're taking on a new client, an online client or something like that, or just even helping a friend or whatever it might be, do you kind of just suggest like, let's really focus in on the form and make sure that's good. Like, let's say the guy deadlifts 550. So you might say, all right, well, that's cool that you deadlift 550, but it looks like you're going to have a fucking heart attack.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's have you work on deadlifting 455 for 3 with more, comfortable form, 475 for 2,
Right.
and then eventually get back to that, 500, 550 range for the singles. Is that kind of what you do? You have them scale it back a little bit for a little while.
Right. Start out with the lighter weight and tweak little things, stance, grip, stuff like that. And, take it a week at a time. Just as it improves, change this.
Cool. All right, what you got?
I'd have to, of course, give a shout out to the missus, because without her, I wouldn't be lifting, and these two boys wouldn't be here.
Hell yeah.
So I got to give a shout out to the
There you
missus.
I agree with
Thank
that. What's some
Thank you.
advice?
Thank you,
got
Mom.
for, yeah, there you go. Mama Lilbridge.
Hi, Mom.
My mom loves Kara.
Oh, well, there you go. At least somebody does. Anyway,
Advice?
yeah, what's some advice?
Never give
Stay
up.
in school,
Yeah,
wear
you
your
know,
seatbelt.
You got to find life what makes you tick. And we're all
Nothing good happens.
individuals for a reason.
Nothing good happens after 11 p.m.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You have a later curfew than that?
No, you know,
My dad always said 11. Nothing good ever happens past 11 p.m.
all the fun starts at midnight, buddy.
That's what I told him. I was
all
like,
the coolest
fuck, man.
start at midnight.
I'm like, what am I going to do? Be a nerd?
Never give up. No matter how bad it seems, hey, it could be worse. As long as you wake up and see the sunshine, it could be a good day. It's what you make of it. Give it your best. Never give up. Don't base yourself on what someone else is doing. Do what you can do and what you feel comfortable with. Never lose sight. Make small, short-term, realistic goals and obtain them and move forward.
Don't get caught up with the mutants out there from Team Lilbridge. They're just too strong.
No, you never know. You could be the next best.
That's true.
Just only time will tell. Don't sell yourself short. Don't compare yourself to anyone but yourself. No one. We don't go into.
That's
a
hard to do, but
competition.
it's good advice. You know,
We never
it's
go into a
difficult.
competition to beat anyone but ourselves. We're always trying to beat ourselves. That's it. Never try to beat anyone else. The numbers will fall where they fall. Just do your best every time. Be happy. Don't be satisfied.
Awesome advice, and it's great having you guys here. It's always great watching you guys compete. The intensity, the camaraderie that you guys have, the way you guys cheer for each other and help each other.
Oh, for sure.
It's just really cool to watch. It's infectious. Everybody else sees it and appreciates it and relates to it. So, again, it's great having you guys out here. We appreciate you being on the podcast, taking the time. You guys never hesitate to help. You guys
No,
are
not at
always
all.
very respectful, and we appreciate that. And a lot of the fans out there appreciate it as well. Whenever I run into people, and they'll say, "Oh man, you know Eric and you know Ernie," and they get very, very. It's not like they're just saying it in passing. They're like legitimately very excited. So, congratulations, you guys, for being some serious ass kickers and some very
Thank you.
respectful folks.
Thank you, Mark.
For sure. And thanks for having us out, man. It was a
Yeah,
kick-ass meeting.
absolutely.
It really was. Great.
Thanks to our sponsors as well, Slingshot, BSN.
Bam.
Oh, got to thank the sponsors. Absolutely.
And then so let's where are you guys at on the internet? I know Eric, you got a Facebook page, just Eric Lilliebridge, correct?
Yeah, I contact me at ericlilliebridge@yahoo.com.
And I know that you're doing some online training, helping people with their programs and stuff like that. And then you have Instagram.
Yeah, we have Instagram. You can find us at basically our names, either Eric Lilliebridge or Ernie Lilbridge Jr. There's our Team Lilliebridge on Instagram and Facebook, and our website as well, teamlilliebridge.com.
And you also have an ebook out as well, right?
Yes, the email is teamlilliebridge@yahoo.com.
I'm sorry, ebook. I said.
Or
Yeah,
ebook.
where do you get it?
Yes, we have an ebook which is on our website.
There you go.
Yeah, we you want to contact us for seminars, personal training, anything, online training.
These guys travel a lot. You're down to travel a little
where-
bit. Yeah, do some
Where
seminars.
are you guys located?
We're out right just west of Chicago.
So, I mean,
Bears.
Anybody who's within a 4-hour radius of that spot should try to get themselves out to your neck of the woods and contact the email
Absolutely.
that he mentioned, and get some advice from some real lifters. I mean, you can't beat it. You're going to get 3 of the best in the world. You're getting the best coach, and you're getting some really world-class training. So you might as well, take a day, take some time, and learn how to do the lifts properly. You're going to spend $100 on a belt, and you're going to spend money on this and that. You might as well spend a little bit of money and time on knowing how to actually do the lift the correct way.
The biggest thing I see is people spend money on other personal trainers that are $50-some an hour, and it's all the wrong advice, especially
Right.
in lifting.
You just end up spinning your tires.
They come in with horrible squat form, horrible bench form, and basically it's time to start from scratch.
But can you guys teach Zumba? Maybe Eric, he's into it.
I don't know if you hum a few bars.
Maybe.
All right, well, that's pretty much it for the PowerCast. I'm at Mark Smelly Bell on Twitter and Instagram. And
You can
Silent
find me
Mike?
at Silent Mike with 2 Ks.
I'm Jim McD, STTV. Follow us on Twitter at STJimSack, Facebook /SuperTrainingGym, and
multiply your hustle and multiply your muscle, and may all your shits be tapered. Gotta end up.
Subscribe to Power Magazine at thepowermagazine.com. If you choose the digital edition, you can catch up on all the great back issues, take your training to the next level with Slingshot products at howmuchyoubench.net, and look for PSN products including NO Explode at bodybuilding.com. Mark Bell's PowerCast is a production of supertraining.tv.